Terra Rebels have been working hard to rebuild the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem, but now they need your help. Let's talk about what they just announced and why they need the community to act. In the Terra Rebels Discord, they just posted this document talking about the critical funding that they need to be able to keep developing on the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem. Let's dive into what this document says. Right, they started by talking about how for the past 4 months, Terra Rebels have volunteered their services to revive the blockchain. And given the fact that they've had success with the installation of version 22 and the delivery of the 1.2% tax burn proposal, they've been able to successfully transition us from the emergency phase into the rebuilding stage. However, given the fact that Terra Rebels is now taking over development entirely, it's clear that they need some more sustainable funding options, as of course, this costs a lot of money. This is why the Terra Rebels are currently seeking a budget of 200 million Terra Luna Classic per month, which equates to about $60,000 at the current prices for the next 6 months, for a total fundraising goal of 1.2 billion Terra Luna Classic, or roughly 360,000 US dollars. Now, the critical piece of information here is instead of implementing something on the blockchain as a way to pay themselves, they're trying to do this entirely based on donations. And donations will be accepted via a multi-sig wallet that we're going to get back to here in just a little bit. But first, I want to touch on their plans of spending with this money. You can say they do a breakdown right here. And for anyone who is curious, they do have a summary for each of these allocations as to what they plan on doing. For example, with reserves, there's going to be an emergency fund, which is about 5%. And they have a lot of explanations in here about what they plan on doing with this different funding. All right, so first off, we have reserves, of course. We already touched on that one. Then we have the maintenance that goes in to back up the endpoints. Then we have 10% going towards reimbursement for infrastructure expenses. 5% goes to team representatives. So this would be people that interact with the community and really help build up. Then we have 60% that goes to the active members during the month to be distributed equally. All right, there's 2 things I really want to highlight when we look at this active members distribution, this 60%. First off, the budget is going to be about $1,800, $1,800 per team member. So that's not a lot of money, right? A lot of these developers, they could get a lot more money elsewhere. So the fact that they're here working for the community, slaving away to provide us value and utility, and they're taking such a low pay, I think is something that we really need to commend them for and thank them and try and beat their fundraising goal, honestly. Like, let's try and get them more money so they can pay themselves a little bit better throughout this process. Stop right there. The vast majority of you are not subscribed and don't have your notification bells turned on. Do that right now so you don't miss another video just like this. Also, this bold sentence: each Terra Rebel team representative must produce a list of accomplishments with active member contributions at the end of the month to be viewable by the public as justification for this compensation. I think this is amazing. I don't think I can come up with a single example where another company or another group has ever come out and said each team member is going to have a list of things that they do every month as justification for their role in that position, right? Usually you'd have a simple thing like, hey, Joe's in accounting, Bob's in HR, right? We'd have these general categories, but we wouldn't know, what is Joe actually doing? What is Bob actually doing? This is going to be really big for the community to actually see and have the transparency to know what's going on here as we are helping fund this. Okay, so coming back up here to this other section that I think is just so important we need to talk about. They're trying to do this entirely based on donations. That means that they need the community to step it up and donate to them to help support them. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually starting a little bit of a campaign on Twitter here. Hashtag LUNC love, right? We're going to try and give the support back to the Terra Rebels that they've done to us, right? As they said right at the very top of their proposal, for the past 4 months, Terra Rebels have volunteered. They didn't get paid to do this. They've been here by themselves, trying to help the community, trying to rebuild and revive the ecosystem. And I think that's something that we really need to respect and we need to show our gratitude and appreciation for. And that's why I want to start this hashtag LUNC love trend, where let's send them some money and let's spread the word and make sure that people know that we need to support the people who are building our ecosystem. Because really, at the end of the day, if the Terra Rebels can't come in here and build because they don't raise enough money, the project's done for. We can't hit our roadmap goals. The future of Terra Luna Classic is going to be dim and grim if we aren't able to actually have the development that we need so they can provide the infrastructure for all these projects to come into the ecosystem. And so that's why I sent them roughly 60,000 Terra Luna Classic to show my appreciation and start the trend here of what we need to be doing to support the Terra Rebels. If you guys want to support the Terra Rebels, I'm going to include the link in the description down below to their wallet so you can support them as they build out our ecosystem for us. And while you're processing your transaction and sending them some Terra Luna Classic, check out this video up here that's going to have some amazing information that you don't want to miss out on.